Hi, it's Mary from Reviewer's Diary, and I am here to do an introduction to a collection and declutter. I have palettes where shadows and other things have just gone to die. As soon as I depot them and put them in a Z palette, I never look at them again, and that's a problem because I have some beautiful shadows that I've saved here. Now, what I want to do is I want to decrease the number of shadows that I have here down to half. That might be a little ambitious, so maybe it won't be half. Plus I have another palette I think I'm gonna take apart. But anyway, I have, by the way, ignore that they're Z palettes. I don't buy Z palettes ever since their customer service fiasco. However, I already own these, so I am going to use them. So this is an extra large, and it has all of these shadows in it. And there are some beautiful shadows in here. Then I have two Ofra ones. Let me just put that aside. And this one has complexion stuff in it. And this one has eyeshadows in it. None of them are like famous brand, although I do have some Makeup Geek and some Urban Decay and some Elizabeth Arden, so I guess some of them are famous makers. But anyway, these I believe are the Makeup Geek shadows, these 5 that I have, and the others are Elizabeth Arden, so I have those. And I also have this little magnetic palette from Itsy, and these are Itsy shadows with the exception of I think that one, which I think is from something else. So I have all of these, and I do have one empty Z palette, which I haven't used because I wanted to use it for duping, like finding shadows to make up for all the palettes that I am looking at and wanting and not buying. So I think that most people can dupe some of the new releases because we all have all these shadows, so we don't need more. So anyway, and I'm always a proponent of trying to get you guys not to spend your money. When somebody says you've got to get this, don't listen. Look first at what you have before you spend any money. So I have all of these. I'm not going to count this right now, but I have all of these. This is these are the magnetic palettes that I have. I am going to take everything out and separate it by color story and see what do I have that I can get rid of, pass on to my daughter and her friends. So I'm going to start by first taking everything out. Some of this stuff is very, very old. I am going to try to swatch some, but I'm not going to swatch all. Okay, so anyway, stay tuned and I'll be right back. As you can see, I have emptied out all 4 of these palettes. I have a whole lot of shadow. So I have already taken 3 items out that I'm going to declutter. This one is really dried out. And even though I really love this yellow color, I'm not going to be able to get enough payoff on that. So I'm definitely going to declutter that. I'm not likely to, getting the dark polish all over my hands, I'm not likely to ever use these 2 dark colors. One of them is a burgundy and the other one is a metallic gray-black. I'm going to declutter these both, give them to my daughter because she will likely get more use out of them than I am. These down here are Makeup Geek and Itsy. I have some Urban Decay in here, and I also have some that are Elizabeth Arden. But I have a couple that are discolored, and that's never a good sign. This one has developed a little bit of gray, black in the corner, which to me means that it's gone bad. So we're gonna toss that. I wouldn't declutter that to somebody. This has the same issue. It has like a blackish area which might be mold. I'm not sure. These are old shadows. These two particularly, I believe, are from an Elizabeth Arden palette. This one is from the same palette, but it doesn't appear to have any discoloration, but it could have a hint of it going on down here. I do love this color, but I have other colors like it. So this one will be decluttered. So that is a total of 6 decluttered. Anyway, these are all relatively new. They are Makeup Geek and Itsy, but these are the newer ones, so I'm going to keep all of these. Don't know if you can see, except for this one. This coffee bean type of a color. This is an Itsy shadow, I believe. I'm going to declutter that. Maybe my daughter will get more use out of that. I'm not really one to use a very dark shadow. So I'm going to take the Itsy palette and put all of these shadows into it. I may be able to fit a couple other shadows in here, and I will certainly do so. A lot of these are older, but they're still performing well. So you can see this one is still performing really well, so I'm going to keep that one. The texture, when I see that the texture is still smooth and working well, I like to try to keep these. This is a really pretty bronze color, so I'll be keeping this one. This is a purple. Now let's see if it's still, yep, it's still smooth. It comes off as a dark grayish color, and I'm not really a fond of that, so I'm going to declutter that. I have, as you can see, I have clearer purples. These are really old. These are from Urban Decay. I could see a little bit of discoloration in this one, so that is going to go. Whoops, now that one's going to probably go. No, it survived. How about that? That survived the fall. This is a really pretty color, but it doesn't swatch well anymore, and it's not very smooth. It's old, very old. That's also Urban Decay. And this is my last Urban Decay that I have in here, I believe. And it's very chalky now. See it there on my arm. It's just not performing well anymore. It's very, very old. It's one of my oldest eyeshadows. So there, that also goes. Okay, and I have, let's see, what do I have that I want to put in this palette so that I can keep it somewhat neutral? I have this Elizabeth Arden shadow. It's really soft and really, really beautiful, so I'm going to keep that. I'll put that in that palette. This one, same thing. It's very, very soft and doing really well. This here is almost like a highlighter color, but it comes off nice and smooth. I am going to go ahead and put that in there, and I believe it's also an Elizabeth Arden. Can't tell because I put the sticker right on there. Okay, so this palette is now full of mostly neutrals. I might move that purple out of there into another palette. It's possible, or I might rearrange everything. I just wanted to at least get the ones I know I'm going to keep put aside. This is another Elizabeth Arden. I do see a black spot. Yeah, it's really old, and it was one of my favorites. I do see a black spot on this. Now, you may not be able to see it on camera, but it is growing black in the corner there, so that's got to go. This is another, I believe this one's Elizabeth Arden. Yes, it is. And it's so old. It was one of my favorite colors, but it's so dried out that you can't use it any longer. This is also very dried out. It's also an Elizabeth Arden and old. Damn, some of those are my favorites. This one, I have no name on it. It's magnetic, and it comes off beautifully. So I think I am going to keep that. Let's put that over there. I wanted to get rid of at least half of these, and I think I'm going to succeed because some of these are so dried out. Yeah, this one's not even giving a color payoff. But I'm going to pull out right away things that have black stains to them. This is going to go. This is a very old Elizabeth Arden. Very, very old. That is going to go. It's got black, I'm sorry, mold. This also has a little hint of mold in the corner here. I don't know if it's actually mold. I'm just going to call it that because these have been kept in a nice dry room in a nice dry shelf. So I don't know, but I think that, you know, this was one of my absolute favorites because you could see it's a shiny green, which is a favorite color choice for me. But it's got black, and I don't want to take any chances. Now these are from an Elizabeth Arden palette also. And they're duplicates, so you can see they are still coming off okay. I think that with the right brush that they would work out okay. So I like the idea of being able to keep that green, so I'll keep that. This is also an Elizabeth Arden. It came in a really weird little palette, and it comes off funny. It's not smooth. It's old and has to go. I'm just going to pull these out because they're all going to be like that. Okay, this was an entire palette that was Elizabeth Arden. I glued it onto a business card, a magnetic business card, because none of these were actually magnetic. Honestly, these colors, this part is not that old. I guess it's a couple of years old, but you know, I think this is going to be okay, and I think I should put this on the chopping block just to see if I even use those. Okay, this has a little green growth in the corner here. That's going to go. I think this one does too. Yes, it does. Has like a little spotting there. I'm not taking any chances. That has to go. All right, this purple, actually it's like a duochrome blue. This seems like it's okay. I don't see anything that would cause any concern for me. So I'm going to hold on to that. I think these will be chopping block, all these. I am going to reinstitute my chopping block series because I think it helps me to get through some things. Okay, so this is a Army Fatigue Green. Now let me get you under the light so you can actually see it better. So, yeah, and it's coming off really nicely. Slightly metallic, so I'm going to keep that. I'm not sure where this one came from, but it's just really pretty and it's still coming off okay. So I'm going to keep that. I think some of the things that I think might be older I'll put in chopping block. These little square ones were all together, and now they're not going to be. Not anymore. This, I don't know what this one is. I see that I did put a magnet on it. It's not coming off very well. And there's just no transfer, so that's got to go. This white color, it's like a duochrome white blue, but it came off very nicely, so that'll go into chopping block palette. And this one is just like feeling really dry. I have to let that go because it's so dry. It was so hard to get anything off of it. And the same with this. I don't know, I could make it work. I'm going to put that in the chopping block. Okay. This one, I see some black. Let me just make sure it's not something that I put in there by accident. No, that was just a little flake of something from something else. But this doesn't really have much of a color payoff, so I'm going to declutter that one. My daughter might like that. This purple one It's like a grayish purple. I don't think I kept any colors like that, so I think I'll keep this one. That worked well. This one, ooh, nice and soft still, see? This came off very nicely, and it looks good. So this one, I'm hoping it'll be the same because I like this blue. Yes, it is. See, it's coming off as a beautiful metallic blue. I do like that. Okay, this one, ooh, it's coming off really nicely as like a bronzy brown, so I'll keep that. This one has some black spotting in it. Let me just make sure it's not just surface. No, it's this has to go. This had a little too much spotting in it. All right, this color I love. This is Urban Decay Afterglow Sin. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. I just hope it works. Yep. I think this is going to be okay. I think I'll have to put it on the chopping block, however, because I have to make sure that these things really are workable. So next would be this one. Ooh, it's nice. Very nice. Metallic blue. It's got to be another Elizabeth Arden. I think this one also is. Yep, and this is coming out fine. This one is also Elizabeth Arden. Let's see. Yep, and this is fine. This one is really pretty. And it's coming off like a denim color, which is really nice. I'll keep that. A lot of these are Elizabeth Arden shadows, unless I tell you otherwise. This is beautiful purple. And this tan one. This one is it me? This one is just not giving me any color payoff, so that's gotta go. This one is like a teal color. Ooh. And I think I'll be keeping that one. This brown is, I don't know what company this is. It's not Elizabeth Arden, it's some other company, but you can see that it really pays off in spades. Obviously, you don't need much of it. Yeah, this one is like a denim green. This one, these might be Coastal Scents, I'm not sure. This comes off very nicely. The Elizabeth Arden ones I marked with an EA on all of them. This comes out very nice. Let's see. This is very chalky, so I'm going to let that go. This one I think might be real chalky. Oh yeah, it's actually broken. We'll let that go. It's a shame because I like peach colors like that. These little tiny ones, I don't know where they came from. So, oh, that's so dry. That's gonna go. Oh my goodness, some of these are so dry. Yeah, these are gonna go. I'll rescue the magnets that I used off the backs of these that I'm decluttering, unless I'm planning to give them to my daughter, which some of them are gonna go into her magnetic palette. I think I'll keep that one. And finally, the last one is this one, and this came off very nice, so I'm gonna hold on to that. Okay, so over here is what I'm getting rid of. So what remains of all those shadows is these shadows right here. Okay, and to go through this is a separate thing because these are all complexion products. And these are actually all things that I really liked and they still look good. So now I have all these palettes here that I can mix and match and create, and you know, I'll come back and show you the end result. it'll be at the end of the day and it'll be dark outside instead of just being cloudy and rotten out there. But yeah, I'll come back and show you what they came out to look like. Okay, so when I was making arrangements, I found a little black spot in this dark color. I believe this might be Coastal Scents, I'm not sure, so that is going to increase my declutters by 1. I did have all of these palettes full to the brim, and now I have this Ofra palette that's empty, and this little palette that was from BoxyCharm empty. And now I have all of my shadows in just these 2 palettes, which I'm going to have on my desk. This one is going to be like chopping block. A lot of these colors are older, whereas in the Itsy palette, everything is pretty new, except for that one, I believe, is the only old one that I have. So this is all pretty new. There is a purplish color in here. I did want to keep it all neutral, but that's a pretty neutral purple. And as you can see, I did group some things together in this main palette here, and that is to have the grays and blues right here, or rather the blues and the purples, and you know, this looks purple in real life, but it's actually tan, I guess. No, it's somewhere in between, so we'll just leave that where it was. And I have some neutral colors here and colors here. So these are all going to be on the chopping block. I think these are okay. All of them look okay, and what's in here all looks okay, but I'm not positive that it's going to be okay forever. So we're gonna try to use these, and I'm gonna try to get through and chopping block these shadows, this particular set of shadows. These are all still really good and fairly new, so except for one, which I should just put it in here already. Yeah, this is an Elizabeth Arden shadow, so I will put that there in that palette. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. This has been Mary with Reviewer's Diary, and I'm feeling really good about how this worked out. I really am. So now I only have 3 palettes. One is a face. I now have 2 empty Z palettes, and I have 3 palettes that are now in use, and I'm going to use for, you know, finding what works, what doesn't work, and how, you know, finger swatches are one thing, but when you go to put it on a brush, you need to make sure that it's going to work. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy. These are Complexion, these are Eye, all fairly new, and these are from palettes. While editing me here, of course, I came up here. I ended up accidentally flinging an eyeshadow back behind my sewing table, so I will have to get that. I wanted to do a recount, and I also wanted to throw these in. These are both Ofra Banana Powder. I took them out of this Complexion palette that I have. I hope you're able to see that. I can't tell how well you're able to see it, but I'm never going to use these. Never, ever, ever. They're both fine. I'm going to offer them to my daughter, and they both are magnetic, so I'm just never going to wear these. Never. So I'm going to go ahead and give those away. So I do have to do a recount on the stuff that I am getting rid of, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, so not including the one that is on the floor and behind my sewing table, which I'll have to crawl on my hands and knees to get. That this ended up equaling out to 36 eyeshadows. I second guessed myself on these because I noticed when I was editing that there were a couple shadows that I liked that I was going to keep. Now, having second guessed myself half to death, I have decided to just go ahead and let them go. So that is 36 eyeshadows gone and 2 face products. Both of these banana powders I am never ever going to use, and they're like fairly new in really good shape. Let's see. I know this is a highlighter from Urban Decay. Yeah, the blushes are still nice and soft. It's actually fairly dry, so let me just make sure. Check that one is still nice and soft. So let's add one more face product to the declutter. You can see the ones that were soft enough to swatch I do have on my arm. I'm so sorry about the lighting. It's a weird overcast day, and even though I have all the studio lights on, it's not helping. But anyway, this one, even though it's a peach tone that I really like, I'm going to let that go also. Yeah, it's just not doing for me what it used to do. So I'm actually taking 3 items out of this one. At some point later, when I have more time to play around with the cheek products, I may actually get rid of more. But for now, we'll do 36 eyeshadows and 3 face products. I feel pretty good about that, so all 3 of these are gonna go. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. This has been Mary with Reviewer's Diary. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up really does help creators on YouTube, because it makes the video much more visible to other viewers. And I really appreciate you all taking time out of your day to watch this video. Thanks, and have a beautiful evening. Good night.